Live from the Drew Estate Cigar Studio and the Gurkha Cigar Studio in the great state of New Hampshire, welcome to the Spare Notes series with your hosts, Matt Tobacco, William Cooper, and Smokin Nicole.
And Pat Chamberlain. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Spare Notes series. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com, and I'm joined by this beautiful trio that's with me tonight. I got Nicole with me. We got Jay's man Pat and the legend from Indian Trail, North Carolina. It's Mr. William Cooper from cigar-coop.com. I think I'm the only one that actually says the -coop.com. I think I'm going to go cigar-coop.com. It's like, no, it's...
Abe does it. Abe says it.
Does Abe do it? Good.
Yeah.
Good, because...
Yeah, because I couldn't get it. The guy wanted, whoever wanted it, I'm not paying for it.
That guy's a bum.
Well, the hyphen's been around for 16 years, so there's no reason at this point.
No, I know, but that guy's still a bum. I mean, Cigar Coop is you. Yeah. There's no other Cigar Coop.
Yeah. That because originally I started out on a blog spot site. Blog
Spice. Wow, Coop's been hitting the sauce already.
You should buy it anyway. I just looked. There is no cigarcoop.com.
Your microphones, and no one heard you.
Oh, there we go.
No, they want the money. They want like money for it.
Do they? It's GoDaddy.
Yeah.
Gone.
It must have changed. Something changed.
Go on there and buy it.
I'm not buying it. It's
oh.
Coop's domain. I'm not touching it.
I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to sell it to him. But I won't ask for money. All I ask for is...
Yeah, they want a $100 broker fee.
GoDaddy does?
Yep.
That's all they want? And you don't want to pay the $100? Come on!
I'm not.
It's $100. You got to add that to your...
I wonder how many people have gone, though, to cigar-coop.com.
I own cigarcoop.net, though. So if you go there, that should still work.
I'm going to have to investigate this later. $100? Yeah. That's all they want?
No,
Matthew,
that's just for the broker fee. That's the broker fee.
Oh. No, I didn't. It was a joke, Nicole. I'm not going to buy it. Why would I buy it?
Yeah.
Unless I bought it as a gift for him. Be like, hey, you know what? I bought it for you. Here you go. I know you didn't want to spend the money, but, I bought it for you. Now you have it. And he'll be
There's
like,
no need to at this point. There was no need to at this point to do it, yeah.
I know. But what if some jackass bought it and was just put a bunch of porn on there?
They only said 16 years. 16 years ain't gonna happen. We're good with SEO and everything. I'm not worried.
They go, I went to cigarcoop.com. There was a bunch of naked dudes on there. What's that? No. You got to go to the -coop. That's the one. You're on the wrong coop. Yeah. You could run into that. You never know.
Most people access the site anyway through Google or ChatGPT, so.
Yeah, that's true. ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Nicole's favorite website.
It's Claude AI.
Claude AI? That's the one you use?
I like Claude, yeah.
I've never heard of it. I just thought you used ChatGPT. Well, whatever. Regardless. Anyway, we're here. Saturday night. We're hanging out. And I can see some of our regulars are in here. We got Jay Davis with the eyeballs. Not sure what that was about. Oh, probably because Pat was on. So, my man, play it. Can't hear Coop. He's really quiet.
I'm here.
No. Don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. I have your sound on my. I think I had it lowered from the other night because of Carlito's audio was coming in a little strong. So I brought it back up. I think that might be why. Let's see. Jay Davis, Chateau de la Coupe. No receipts, no hyphens. No receipts. We don't know what that's about. Coop looks like he's deep in thought tonight. I don't know what it is.
I'm not, no.
You just look like you're
I'm fine.
Really chill. You tired?
No.
No
I'm
KMA
good.
this morning.
I had no KMA. I'm good, yeah.
I forgot about that, too. Well, I texted you about something this morning, and you answered me back, and I'm like, that's weird. He never texted me back during KMA. And then I sat down, and I saw best of, and I was like, oh, because there is no KMA.
Yeah, Abe took his daughter to college this weekend, so.
Oh. Good for him.
I
think FIU.
Oh, so not too far.
Parent. I was the worst parent when it came to stuff like that. I let them go on to school on their own. I hope once they got the car loaded.
See ya.
Sayonara.
I did one college visit with my oldest daughter, and I said I'd never do another college visit again. You don't need me to tell me how good the library and the dining hall are. My son Timmy, he went to Full Sail. He really asked me to go because it was a very different college, and he wanted to show it to me. So I did go to that one.
That is a different school. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very different school, and he just said I need another set of eyes for this, is what he said. So that was but honestly, I talked to enough parents. These college visits are for the parents more than the kids. I'm telling you that straight out.
Yeah.
It's a dining hall. It's a library. It's the same thing. So
Petra's the oldest, right? So that's his first time.
Yeah, my two youngest, I didn't go on any college visits with them. So
they packed up the car. Coop stood in the driveway.
I went and got there was one I had to get a U-Haul because for my son, but he drove. I said, "You're taking this. I'm not dealing with this."
I'm gonna spin the yarn. I'm gonna spin the yarn. Son gets in. All right, I'll see ya. Closes the door. Starts up the engine. Coop stands there with Lisa. Puts his arm around her. Son drives away. And he just goes, "Well, Lise, 1 down, 3 to go." He knows it too.
Yeah, I like. Listen, I honestly, I just said these college visits are so. I don't need to see what the library is. I don't need to see what the dining hall is. My kid, if you can't tell what a good dorm room is, you shouldn't be out on your own. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Was Lisa more like, emotional about it than you were? I feel like the moms,
a little bit, not over. But
bird flies the nest.
Overly, no. Yeah, not overly.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't overly.
Well, we got 15 years to go.
I have this sneaky suspicion that the Coop household was an Iron Fist household, and they were like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out."
They probably did, but
They probably did. Listen, I know how snippy you can be with things.
I know.
I know how snippy you can be with the cigar industry. You can imagine what your own kids had to deal with. They're like, "Oh, fuck, he's on me again."
How your son moves back home and he has to take a job in your local cigar store? That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 years he was working. I gave him so much crap in that, so I said, anytime. I said, I don't want to see an ashtray with an ash in it. I'm like, I'm going to be on your case.
I want to eat out of that ashtray. It better be spotless.
I said, you're better off it's me saying it than someone else either, is what I said. So.
Hey, you probably cleaned the ashtrays better than Alan Rubin ever did.
Oh, that's bad.
Starting early.
Whoops. What? I've been drinking. Go on.
And look, it's like Beetlejuice.
Come on. We're just joking around. Everyone needs to lighten up. Everyone gets all defensive. Why are you picking on me? And it's like, come on. If you can't laugh, then you shouldn't be on this show. Well, anyway. It's another Saturday night. It's a beautiful Saturday night. Let's kick it off. And let's bring it to our Blue Smoke Corner. Shout out to Jay Davis. Takes care of us here at Smokin Tabacco. He does. Jay's a friend. And that's why he's here. Friend. He's here for the Spare Notes Nightly Kickoff. We'll go around the room here, and we'll start with Nicole, then go to Coop, and then to Pat, back up to me at the end. So we'll go what is on my screen clockwise. So that's how I'm doing. I think what I see is the same on the other end, but I'm not sure. What I see is it's clockwise. So Nicole,
I think you're right.
But we're smoking the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. All right. Coop can go, then Pat, and then Nicole will tell us what we're doing. That way you can speak for both of us. All right, Coop, what do you got? What are you smoking?
Well, I in honor of the great interview you guys did, I'm going with a Fuente Opus X Oro Oscuro. This is the Robusto size.
Nice. Oh, well, then I think we're all smoking the same brand.
Gifted to me by my good friend Darren. So.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Good for you. All right, Pat.
Yep.
What Fuente cigar are you smoking tonight?
Are we all smoking Fuente tonight?
Well, I mean, chances are Pat has one, so unless he tells me something different, then yes, I think we are.
Smoking Añejo.
Yeah, there you go. It's still a great cigar, though. I mean, Añejo's. I mean, it's funny. We have plenty of them. I haven't smoked one in a while, though. I probably should, because I do really enjoy those. They're really, really good. Oh, Pat, you know what size I have a good amount of? You would love this. 888s.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pat hates that size.
I love that size.
I know. I think it's
like
great.
I like the anejo.
Yeah, I know. It's good. It's good. Nicole, what are we smoking tonight?
We are smoking some extra special cigars, which are the 858 Maduros in honor of Anastasia's birthday.
Yes, we have the
Oh, I was gonna hold it.
the.
I know
These
you
were-
can't see it now.
I know it's hard to
I
see.
made a post.
It was a gift from Cynthia
Yeah.
Fuente when she was born, and
Yeah.
so we have those,
Little.
and we have them in Don Carlos. So we went with these tonight.
Yep. Now they have, well, probably a little bit more age, but at least 3 years of age.
3 and change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good. Look at Jay. Well, a lot of people talking about Añejo. Kevin O'Connor, Añejo is my favorite Fuente. Then you got Jay Davis over here. Fuente and Añejo are trash, Matthew Tobacco. Send them to me and I'll dispose of them. I'm gonna tell Carlito Fuente that you called them trash. See if you get the royal treatment down in the Dominican Republic next time.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him. Say, did you know that Jay Davis called Añejo trash? He's gonna be like, that's disappointing. You know, Jay was like family to me, and that hurts to hear. And I'm gonna be like, I think he was joking, but he said it. Oh man, no one's immune tonight. No one's immune.
Yeah. Jeez. And you're only halfway through your drink.
I know. Get ready. Buckle up. I see Coop's already got his props out, so let's just go right to this segment. It's our ST Dupont segment, which we have 4 people on tonight, so the lower half is going to get a little cut off, but I'll try to keep that to a minimum. We shake up the legacy here. Everybody hold them up. We got the new ST Dupont table lighter. I got mine. She's got hers. He's got his. Pat, you need to get one.
That's missing.
Although Pat used
Were
yours
you-
the other night. He did.
Why wouldn't he? He was
I know.
nice.
He was in the chair. I
How'd you
said,
like it, Pat?
It was good. I liked it. It's a nice, heavy, hefty lighter. Good
Take
table
someone
lighter.
out.
I know.
You know what
good.
the only problem is? I can't tell when it's filled. Like
That's
you put
true.
So much fuel. That's the one drawback of this lighter.
And it's not like a little lighter, you know, where you can see in the fuel
No,
window.
so
Like,
you
there's
don't-
no
you-
fuel window.
And you can usually estimate it in a pocket lighter. This one I can't really estimate it, so it's been a little tricky I'm in the middle of the review and I'm trying to count the number of times I've used it. I can't determine if the tank's filled or not, and I think I'm getting there. It uses a lot of fuel, is what I'll tell you.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a table lighter. They'll use
It's a
lot.
table lighter, yeah. But it's great. Don't get me wrong. Don't let me wrong on this. This is a great lighter.
Yeah,
It's the best soft
fantastic.
flame lighter I've ever. It's the best soft flame lighter I've ever used. And I normally don't use soft flame, so
I'll tell you too. You know what? It's not a new model or anything like that, but you know, we talked about. My mom said Pat's saving his energy to let loose again. The second half of that show the other night, it was like 2 different Pats. In the first half, he was kind of like, "I'm here, just waiting my turn." In the second half, he was like, "I got something to say." It was like NWA with Straight Outta Compton. You know, he's like, "I got something to say," and then he just went off. Whew. I like Fired Up Pat. It's my favorite Pat. I'm kind of
Once in a
afraid
blue
of.
moon.
I'm kind of afraid of Quiet Pat. You know, because it's the quiet ones you're gonna look out for. But you know, we'll see. What was I gonna say though? I completely forgot. Oh, yeah, it's not a new model or anything. And when we talk about Dupont, like their new stuff, it's 99% of the time it's mostly aesthetic that we see them introduce something new.
they came out with 2 new models this calendar year.
Right, but the Popate or the Popate that they came out with,
Those are artistic like finishes. Yeah.
right? But I kind of really like them. I've been looking
I
at
do
them,
too.
and I was like, they've been really, really growing on me, and I'm like, I really like the Popate. It's I don't know, it's not like a crazy pattern or anything, but like it's just kind of nice. It's just elegant. It looks cool on one of those lighters. There's nothing extra to it. It's just I don't know. I really like it. It's growing on me. Hint, hint.
Oh yeah.
So,
Someone's birthday's coming up, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, so I mean that takes care of SG Dupont. Shout out to Les Mann, taking care of us as always. Love Les, great friend, great guy. So since we were on last time, Nicole and I had traveled to the Connecticut River Valley, and we attended the Drew Estate Barn Smoker event. Excuse me.
It was Matthew's first one. Sorry. Matthew's first one.
Yes. And I will say, I have a write-up on this that's mostly written. It needs to be edited, and all the media needs to be put into it. So I have a more of a long-form kind of thing that's coming out on the website. What I will say, and anyone's obviously open to have input on this, but out of all of the cigar events I've been to, and I don't mean just like the little tablecloth in-store, buy 2 boxes like Via Hat fucking events. Like, I've been to the Great Smoke, you know, I think I've been to everything for the most part in terms of like bigger events, the exception of like Cigar Aficionado, because I'm not going to waste my time going to that. And I will say, out of the consumer events I've been to, I really think it might be one of the best. For a couple of reasons. You know, it's not like industry events, like going to the trade show, like that's not the same thing. You know, there's things like that you can't compare to that. You strictly, like, a regular consumer spends money on a ticket, they show up to an event and they get their money's worth out of it. I think that the Barn Smoker is probably one of the best. I think the only major criticism that we had was getting in. The line to get in was rather... It was tedious. It took a long time to get in. It seemed like it moved very slow. The process was very slow. And I think a lot of that had to do with the amount of people checking people in. And they kind of did it like they did 2 at once. It was checking people in with their tickets, which they didn't have tickets and they scanned. It was like they had like Matty Rock and a couple other people going through the line one at a time, looking people up, and then like checking them in the, which that takes time. You know, you go to like you go to a concert or a professional sports game, and you have your ticket. They scan you go, scan you go, scan you go. They were kind of like, you know, manually looking up everybody, you know, waiting, finding it. Okay, all right, how many? And that takes a few minutes. Okay. Oh, I got you. Okay, you guys are good. So I mean, that takes a process when you're going through a lot of people. But then you continue to stand in the line, because then you have to wait to pick up your swag, which I'm not complaining about getting the swag, but I feel like they could have maybe done that separately, just so you can get in, because you could always maybe go pick that up later or at the end, or I don't know. It just felt like by the time you got in, it was like, fuck, like, all right, like, we're finally in. Like, it just took a while.
Wait, was this for you or me? Was this media or just for everybody, you're saying?
This was just for everybody. This is how it was. There's no... Unless there's a media VIP that I wasn't aware about, but no one told me.
I've gone to the Florida one, and I've never had to wait online. I mean, basically, they let me in. It's just I had to go get my stuff later and stuff like that. But that was
But at the same time,
I usually will always ask too, because I want to get the pictures before everyone gets in there, and they usually accommodate that. So that's just, you know, that's. I'm not saying, you know, you're cutting the line. If you want to go in there and do pictures and stuff, but they. When in Florida, that's what they did, but I haven't been to one in 3 years, so they may have changed that setup, is what I'm saying.
The other thing, too, though, is that's fine and dandy for people like us.
Right.
But I'm also
that's
trying
what I'm saying. I get it for everybody else, too, yeah.
But to capture, like, for the average person, you know, that's what they're going to have to do, though. So it's still kind of like, you know, relates to the majority of the people who attended. And
I agree. I totally agree with you on that.
So I'm kind of happy that I did that in a way, because then I could say, like, well, I experienced what the average person would experience, so they can actually relate to it. Not like, well, I got in because, like, I know people. No, I waited in line like everybody else, and that was the experience that I had. So, but once you got in, for the most part, you know, all around in general, it was pretty good. First, let me get to the topic that Coop probably wants to hear about the most, the food. The food was great. There was plenty of options. They did
good with the food.
They did great with the food. They had multiple options, good quality food, and then they give you the little book with the tickets. And there was like, 5 drink tickets, and like 5 food tickets. So they gave you like a handful of opportunities to get whatever you wanted. It wasn't like, okay, you get like 1 drink and like 1 sandwich. Like, no, like you could go up and get whatever you wanted like 5 times. You could go get 5 drinks. So I thought that was pretty good because a lot of places, they're a lot more stingy with that stuff. Just saying. So there was that. And the food was good quality. It was worth, getting. No long lines for the food. Very easy to get in and out. The activation stations were there. And yes, it's kind of like a trick-or-treating thing. But at the same time, it's not like you have to get in the line and then you have to go through the whole line. You can go up to a station, you get your cigar, you can talk to people. They all had little things at each one that maybe you could look at or get into or whatever. Spend some time and then move on. Then you could always go do something else. It's not like you had to get in the line and be committed to going through the whole line and doing that. There was no it was just very free to navigate. It's early August in New England. It was very hot and muggy. Not a lot of places to escape that. It sucks. I'm not going to hammer Drew Estate on that, though. I mean, they did have the VIP tent, which they called the Black Widow Saloon, which had some air conditioning, but it wasn't perfect. But that was only for VIP. And we got to go in there because, Josh and those guys took us in there and whatnot, and we got to see it. But it was nice in there. They had their own private bar in there. They had VIP exclusives, which were, I think it was another Liga A, and there was something else they gave us.
I don't know, but they also got different swag.
They got different swag. They had the spray can lighters, the spray paint lighters in there that they had. I got one of those. They had like their own food in there. JD was hanging out in there with like Willie and Pedro and everybody, kind of like in the beginning and like kind of really before like the intro and all that. So if you had VIP tickets, you kind of got to go in there and hang out with them before like everyone else was really, kind of roaming around and whatnot. It was good. And then they got the educational stuff, which, for the average consumer, how many of them get to say they've been to a tobacco farm and they got to ask questions from people who know what they're doing? You know what I mean? If you don't go to Barn Smoker, I mean, what opportunity do you have? I mean, you gotta go to Dominican Republic, which, I mean, that's bigger. I mean, that's. I'm not saying that Connecticut's not the real thing. It is, but that's a much more involved kind of experience, which is nice, but it's also a lot more expensive. So, Coop, you've been to Pro Cigar, and you know what it costs for the average person to go to Pro Cigar. So, I mean, you're talking a couple $100s to go to Barn Smoker or a couple $1,000s to go to Pro Cigar. So, it's good. I think for what it is, it's a good event.
I agree.
It's very solid.
I agree. It is a great event. I've been to the one in Florida, so I know, and that's Jeff's farm. They have it at, and that's a great event.
Yeah, you got a lot of swag, and the average ticket, the non-VIP ticket was $150, and the VIP ticket was $400. So then, when you think about what you get for $150, even though you had to wait in line to get in, you got like a whole backpack, a hat.
You got more than $150 worth of stuff for $150.
Yeah, they gave away beach towels,
yeah,
sunglasses.
the bag of cigars just for walking in.
There was at least like 5 different Liga Privadas in there. For the cigars that they gave.
There was at least $200 worth of cigars in that bag.
The education, so like there, it's
not more.
You definitely got your money's worth. And I will say, it was slow to get in, but you would also, what you forgot to mention is a lot of people were delayed. Remember, getting there because of some storm. Right? Wasn't there some people that weren't able to? Like
the Drew Estate people flying in. Yeah.
In. There were a bunch of team members that were delayed and did not make it. Izzy being one of them. Izzy was supposed to be there because there were some storms going on that weekend somewhere. So I'm wondering if they were just also short-staffed for checking people in, is my thought. And while it was hot, they did actually have someone with like Italian ices coming around giving people slushies while they were waiting in line, even though it was hot. So they they were definitely trying to make the best of everything. And, there weren't lines at a lot of the activations. My only gripe is that VIPs essentially were the only ones who got to sign up for the actual cigar rolling class. That was like all sold out by the time.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Other than that activation, you could do pretty much anything. and they had a QR code, like Amazing Race style trivia questions, which was cool. So if you did have to wait in line at activations, there were like 30 QR codes hidden across the property, and you could create a team, and whoever got the most points got like an additional prize. So like while you're waiting around, it was kind of something else to fulfill your time, and it was just like general. It wasn't cigar trivia questions, but it was just like general trivia questions. So I just thought that was interesting, because if there was a line, you could at least do something in the line to kind of kill your time, but there really wasn't lines, I feel like.
I'm surprised they still do VIP, because I guarantee
Yeah.
they could sell out every ticket, even if they had all VIP tickets. Or maybe, see, I'm the kind of guy, I'd rather pay $250 and not have to worry about getting the highest level, you know, rather than, I just think, I don't know, I think the VIP, I don't quite get it anymore, because I think you could, I get, you want to have some incentives, but they sell those out so fast, right? The problem is, I don't think you need to do it, is what I'm saying. You could probably get away with a $250 ticket and give, you know, and I think people would be happy.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, not to sound like they would want it, but like, you know, JD wants to be in the air-conditioned tent. He doesn't want to be out in the field. So, you know, you have the VIP.
I get it.
Saloon
That's true.
for the
I would be.
air-conditioned people. So, like,
I get it. Yeah. See, they didn't have it.
Yeah.
They didn't have an air-conditioned
Yeah.
tent when I went to Florida. So that may be something for Connecticut they've added.
Well, yeah, because I mean, usually when they have this event, it's August, because that's pretty much the only time they can do it, and so it's 90 degrees.
I mean, it's
funky,
still
gross.
South Florida. It's
Yeah,
still
they
somewhat.
would do May. It used to do it in May in Florida. Now it's in November.
Yeah. But yeah, the air conditioned tent. So that's the biggest draw to VIP, is that you could, and granted it wasn't perfect, but it was still better than being out in the heat. So,
Yeah.
and
It's
people
true.
were like literally standing in front of the vents, like when they could, because it was so hot. So,
Yeah, the
good.
staff.
Yeah.
The staff was standing in front of the
Yeah.
vents. 'Cause it was like we were standing there with
Yeah.
Josh. Josh was like looking over. He's like trying to figure out what's going on over there.
they're just like,
It's like they're hogging all the air over there. It's just the stand.
it was a hot day. Although I will say they sprung for the nicer porta potties that like are.
They did like the trailer
Yeah.
ones.
Like those air conditioned ones and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah,
skimp on
those
the porta
are.
potties.
They're cool. They're cool.
Yeah,
They let me tell you something. That was luxury.
that was.
That was luxury.
Especially because they had women's ones, and there was not a lot of women, and it was like it was colder in the bathroom than it was in the tent. I wasn't.
That's actually
complaining,
true.
so.
Yeah. Helps you go.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
good.
all in all, that was a good event. That was a really good event.
Oh, I should have brought my spray paintings.
Yeah. So you go to the acid station, and I don't know if they had this at the ones you guys went to, but you go to the acid station, and they got blank like 12 by 12 white canvases, and you get one. Then you go over to the table over there, and they have all different kinds of spray paint and stencils.
Right. Yeah.
And you can
That's cool.
spray paint your own stuff. And it was cool. Nicole made 3 of them.
It is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I spray painted some wall art.
And then,
Yeah. They
sorry, Coop, what were you gonna say?
No, they're really cool. That one was really cool. I've seen that one.
The only activation that didn't make sense, and I don't call it activation, but she was there in a tent. And is we love Rabbit Air, but Rabbit Air was there.
Yeah, Tamina was there,
Repping Rabbit Air.
and I love her. She's great, and she's always been so good to
Yeah.
us over the years. And so it's really not against her, but I was just kind of like, I don't know, like just why'd they make her fly all the way out there for that? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. There might have been, you know, some. They want to get some other outside vendors involved.
They may get some partners involved. That's probably what it is.
I don't know. It just seemed like, I don't know. Just didn't feel necessary.
But I mean, Abe brings partners into the Great Smoke too.
Not that I'm hating on it either. I mean,
No, I don't think you are.
I think she's great. I mean, we
She
always
just
see her at the
looked-
trade
It
show.
was just she looked bored, and she came all the way from.
Yeah, like if anything, I
California.
felt
We talked to
bad
her.
for her. I felt like people were not really giving her any time. I saw her and I was like, oh, I'm going over there because I know who she is. And I feel like most people walk by like, who's this lady? With
She
the...
wasn't trying to sell anything either. She just like
Oh.
had one on display in the middle of the fields.
Yeah.
Where you don't.
I was like, actually, I don't even think I saw you at PCA. I'm sorry about that. She was like, oh no, don't worry about it. I know how busy you are. I'm like, Yeah, I'm like, but still, I like to at least swing by, say hello, and I'm like, I didn't even get to see you at PCA, so I'm like, at least I'm glad, I'm glad I got to see you now. I'm like, 'cause I feel bad, but like, I felt bad she was just kind of all alone in there, and I was like, she's really nice, so I felt bad. But yeah, she was there, so they had them, and they had some alcohol people there. I can't remember specifically they had any like brand people there, but they had a couple different things going on. They had the blackened station, and they had a bunch of guys, all set up to play. They had a little band going on, and which I think half of them were reps, because I know Nick Laramie. Pat, you know Nick Laramie. He's our Drew Estate territory rep. He's been around a long time, and he's awesome. He's awesome. I love him. But he was part of that group. I think he was playing bass or something like that. He was all geared up. I saw something of him doing something. So that was cool. Every kind of station kind of made sense, I guess, for the brand theme and what they were trying to do. You go to the Deadwood, they had two girls that were like all dressed up, and they had the face paint and all that. Like, that made sense. I think when I first got there, Ann was at the Pappy Van Winkle tent. You had Javi was at the Acid one. Josh was doing VIP duty. Trying to think who else was around. Sam actually took over at Pappy Van Winkle later on. Didn't get to see Jenny Lynn. I think she was in Rhode Island, though. They said she was in Rhode Island with, I think she was with Jesse and her family and all those people. Izzy didn't make it. That was too bad.
But overall, good.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. So my point being, we saw mostly everybody we know. It was good. It was a good time. It was a good time.
I'm
I
looking
liked it.
forward to your write-up. I'm really looking forward to your write-up. You know why?
Why?
All the coverage I saw were puff and light pictures and videos.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward, and this was really useful. That's kind of like my big complaint about a lot of media coverage. It's all puff and light, and I'm like, okay, I understand you gotta have some puff and light pictures, but that's the extent of it. I'm like, you haven't really delivered for.
Like a walkthrough. We took the GoPro, and so we did just like a walkthrough, so people could really see what was going on at all of like that the education tents.
Yeah,
I got video coverage of the Black Widow Saloon when you first walk in. Some of the curing barns, what the tent looked like.
Yeah.
So what we took wasn't cut and light photos, but at least you could see everything.
at least you can see what's going right, and that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for I'm not asking for anything more, but I see this is becoming a big thing with a lot of events. I'm seeing big publications do puff and light, and that's the extent of their coverage.
Yeah.
I'm seeing publications do this, yeah.
No, it wasn't super. Most people were like sitting in the main tent when we first got in, so actually all of the stations were pretty quiet. So we made a beeline and kind of walked through before it was too oversaturated for people to really kind of get a good like walk through vibe video of everything. So
I have a hot take on the Barn Smoker.
ooh,
Go right ahead.
Go
do
ahead,
you not
Pat.
like it, Pat?
All right, Pat, here we go.
Yeah.
We're waiting for this all night. He's like, here we go. I got something to say. I'm not really happy with the way they did it.
Let him speak his piece.
He likes to do and give him a taste of his own medicine. Oh, I'm Steve Saka. Oh, I got so much to say. Come on.
Pat, ignore him. Ignore him. He's
Yeah,
being
it
annoying
wasn't even
already.
good, that one.
I know.
No.
Just promise me you'll do Steve later, and I'll feel better.
Okay.
I might do Steve.
All right,
Maybe.
good. All right, good. All right.
I think as somebody who's gone, I don't know, probably like 5 out of the 6 past years, I think the DE, and I think before you guys went, I don't remember if it was on the podcast I did last Wednesday. It might have been that one.
Oh, when you popped on?
Yeah, I think I was
Okay.
on for a little bit. You guys were talking about the Barn Smoker, and I said that the Underground booth was sold out before you got in, which seems that they didn't fix that this year.
No.
No.
So like, if you go every year, so you'll probably have a good write-up this year, but if you go again next year, I think it's going to be a more negative write-up just because like nothing changes from anything that they do. And I think swag-wise, it's the best event you can go to. other than, I mean, I haven't gone to like the big events, but I think consumer event wise, I think it's one of the best swag events. But if you take the swag away and you rate it based on the experience component, I think it's like mediocre at best. Just in the sense of if you go next year, I mean, you just gave your write up, but I'll tell you, I guarantee you they had the basketball hoop again this year. I guarantee you they had the flip the dice again this year. You guys
Do you
mentioned the
remember that?
graffiti.
No.
Nope.
Oh, they changed it. Oh, that's good
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
All right, well that's that. Yeah, if they're changing the activations, that's good because the years I've gone, like 3 years in a row, it's the same activation moves. Like the Hoya one, you just walk up. There's a big foam dice. You just flip it and you get a cigar, whatever number.
Well,
it is.
wait a minute. Hoya doesn't work with Drew Estate anymore, so they weren't there.
But they
Okay.
they were there last. They were there last. This is the
Yeah.
first year they haven't worked.
Yeah,
with
because remember now they're with SAG
Yeah.
Imports with Casada. They have nothing to do with Drew Estate.
Where are the activation moves? It was you had graffiti, you had the rolling one that no one can do unless you're
Undercrown.
VIP. Yeah, then you have. They didn't do a basketball hoop this year.
Nope.
I don't think so. I don't remember
I
a
don't
basketball
remember
hoop.
basketball hoop.
Where was
The
that?
Pappy booth has nothing, to my recollection. It's
Yeah,
just you
that
just
had
walk
nothing.
up.
There was some barrels that they had with the press on them. That was it.
Yeah, but it's no activation. And then the educational piece was probably just Pedro next to the tobacco talking, right? And then Willie.
William Pedro and An did the Curing Barn segment.
Did you guys do it all in one spot? Did you go from location to location?
We did each location.
No, they switched it up like they did before.
Okay, because that's what they used to do, and I like that. And they stopped doing that, and then I didn't like it because it was all just in one spot.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. If you go again next year, it's going to be like the same event, though. So I think if you go every year, you lose like the experience. Just, I mean, they don't really change anything when it comes to like how they. I mean, the VIP tent is new as of last year, and I mean that's if you're a VIP, that's cool. But then it kind of separates people because when they're doing the auctions and stuff, you have to like leave the VIP tent to go over and participate in that.
Well, no, they had
they
a
do-
they had a camera to the live tent in the VIP tent,
Oh, okay.
so I don't think you did
And
have to
then-
leave.
Yeah, there was like
Yeah.
a stream. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a stream to the main.
Eli
tent
was
Did they
playing
do that?
music, and then they had like someone else doing like MC duty.
in the main.
How was
tent.
the music? Was it loud?
I mean, it was
Well,
good.
I'm not saying where. Well, like so, if you were sitting away from the music, right?
Yeah.
Like were you able to have a conversation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You could hear it
Okay,
everywhere,
that's
and it
good.
was comfortable.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like Pro Cigar where you can't have a conversation anywhere.
Oh no,
So,
people were definitely able to talk.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was nice.
Or how
And
Pro
it was-
Cigar used to be. They've gotten better about that now. So.
Where they just blare music the whole time.
Yeah, they do. But what they do now is they don't blare it early; they blare it later. So, in that part, by that point, people are starting to go and do other things at that point. So,
Yeah.
so I understand. But yeah, they used to blare it. Manuel Casado one year demanded they turn it down.
Duh.
I remember. Yep.
I
Yeah.
can see that though. I mean, some you
Yeah.
get a lot of older guys there, and they've been out all
But no,
day, and it's
you-
like I
you
don't want to
can't-
hear all this.
You can't have a conversation though. That's what the problem is.
Right. But either
Yeah,
way, it's
yeah.
a lot. It's a lot. It's uncomfortable. No, I would say it was fine. I didn't find the music to be a problem. He had a great playlist going.
But Pat does have a point. I mean, like if you take the swag and the cigars away, it's not worth the $150 ticket.
Yeah, I mean that you definitely get your most out of
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it still beats going to a tablecloth event.
No, and people seem to enjoy.
Oh, I agree. I
themselves.
think it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't gone in 3 years. I do want to go back. They did change it up, but some certain components of that tour will never change. The harvesting, the barn. It's just not going to change
It's the whole
unless
point.
they've implemented something new. Yeah, unless they're going to. The activations. I don't like when I went early on. There weren't even activations, from what I remember, and there were very few. That kind of started to come along in the last few years.
Yeah. But if you're just going to like go to hang out with your friends, and when we were waiting in line, it was a lot of groups of people. It wasn't just like one or two people. There were like groups of like 4 to 6 making a day out of it, hanging out, people getting tables together. Obviously there were some single people who who joined in with different things. But for the most part, it was groups of people. And so, it's something fun to do, right? That's better than a cut and light event. And, people were enjoying themselves, even with the heat. So,
Yep.
and that's what matters. So,
Yeah, Alan asked this question. How many media go to these events with the actual purpose of actually covering the event? I'm guessing most go to just experience and enjoy the event. I don't think he's wrong about that either. I think when you... I think it depends on who you're talking about.
Here's what I see. There's two scenarios. There's scenario one where if a media person buys a ticket on their own, that's their call. I mean, they don't have to cover it, right? If you're kind of being a gratis ticket, I think there is some level of give back, covering it either before or after the event. So I think there is some with that. So that's just I think how it goes.
I don't know if we were explicitly asked, though, to do it, to do coverage with the ticket.
No, I don't think they ever explicitly have asked me either.
Yeah.
But I usually, as part of, in exchange for that, they will get, they should get some level of fair coverage, whether it's positive or negative. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't necessarily have to be all positive as far as that goes. So
They like to know either way
Yeah.
because they want to know.
yeah, but I do know media people who have gone to events and they have bought their own ticket. So
Yep.
and that's their call what they want to do for that.
Like I was kind of just saying, I think that it depends on who it is. Because, and this is not, because people like to be defensive. This isn't me trying to throw shade at anybody, but you have a lot of people that consider themselves media. And I would say, respectfully, the majority of people who call themselves media, they do it, as a fun thing on the side that kind of really just documents what they're doing, and they want to have some connection to the business. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I'm not knocking anybody. Everybody has to do what's right for them. And so some of those people that, are not as invested in the media game and the business, but they might not have the same, relationships and stuff like that. And maybe they do just want to go. It's more about enjoying and then maybe talking about it. And if they just want to post some puffin lights, that's what they do. Okay?
That's what they do. That's their call.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying, I know a lot of people do puff and light who are not media also. I see the event organizers do it, right? What I'm just saying is, it ain't, I don't get it. I don't see where you're getting, I don't see any value. I think what Nicole was talking about, to me, is something interesting because it's bringing me the vibe of the event. And that's the key thing. I think anytime you can capture the vibe of the event, where you're not there, and you can kind of feel a little piece of that. That's doesn't have to be an in-depth analysis of the event. I'm just saying, give me something that's the vibe of the event besides cut and light. I know you're gonna cut and light cigars, and everyone's gonna have a good time smoking with that. So, I don't need.
Yeah.
If that's the extent of what you're covering, in my opinion, you failed with your event coverage.
And there's no stipulation that you have to cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a
no, there
conversation.
isn't. And they've been. I think it's good too, just to know what Drew Estate's doing too, and understand their strategy with it. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, obviously, in conversations with them, I told them that I would.
Yeah. I do
and so,
Abe's. I cover.
And so they
Abe,
expect it, which because I told only
Yeah.
because I told them I would, not because they're like, well, if
Yeah.
we do that, like, no, it's. They ask like, are you going to do any coverage of it, like just out of curiosity? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it right up into it. And like, all right, great, that's awesome. That's it. But there's no obligation. That's my choice.
I will tell you, event coverage has been my biggest growth area in the last 12 months.
Event coverage is fun.
Well, it depends. You gotta get if you're asking to cover a tablecloth sale at a store.
Well, yeah. I mean, no, I'm not.
But,
I wouldn't crawl out of bed for that one.
Yeah, but like I said, last year accessories was the biggest growth thing for me on the cigar, and this year it's been events. I've been surprised at the number of views I've gotten on the event recaps I've done. Connecticut Tobacco was one of my biggest articles of the year. I was shocked. I didn't expect those numbers. So.
Well, I mean, people want to know what they, they could have missed out on. I mean, air travel has increased this year. Maybe some people aren't traveling as much as they used to. So, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Right?
No,
It's
I know
expensive.
exactly. So, and believe me, I think covering events is very hard. Connecticut Tobacco, I have a list of about 20 things I would have done differently or better. So. It's hard. It is hard to do it. when I see puff and light, it's just like I saw one print publication. That's all they do.
I'll tell you what. You know what grinds my gears is when I see people who get invited to go to like Pro Cigar and the bigger events, and all they post is puffin lights. That's what's like. Okay, what a waste. You know. You know it happens. You know it does. Don't tell me it doesn't. You've been there.
You know what's funny? I've been there. It took me about really 3 to 4 years to figure out how to cover Pro Cigar. Now I think we have it down. We do it a little different. Harefield does the day reports. We don't kind of do that. We kind of do the individual activity reports, and you don't have to like when you go to the factory, you don't have to explain to everybody how they make a cigar. Is what I figured out very early. So
yeah.
I see. Like I used to see a lot of people when they go, particularly the early bloggers when they were doing factory tours, they were trying to explain to me how to. And they did a good job. Don't get me wrong, but it was way too much, is what you would see. You know,
right?
Like, yeah. So
it's like, give me the real highlights. You know, I don't need to know how the cookies made. I know how the cookies made. I want to know.
Yeah.
What else are they doing? Like, you know, what's going on in it? What's it look like? You know, they just want to feel the vibe of the field, the factory, the farm, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yep.
I mean, especially nowadays, with people watching all these shows and stuff, it's like, well, I've watched all your shows all the time, and people come on and like they've talked about it. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, I know how they roll a cigar with 5 different leaves in it. Like, I get it. So I know what you mean, and that's true. And I think that's where that experience kind of comes into play. I think going to that and seeing the whole process for people who go to it. Just seeing it, I think, is so people I think want to go and they want to say that they were there and they saw it, which absolutely I think is great. But when you read about it, it's like, I get it, they roll cigars, but like, what else is going on? Like, what's it look like? You know, what's the fun part?
I'm going to give you the best example of someone covering an event that got me to go to the event. This is Great Smoke. So in the very early days of the Great Smoke and the very early days of KMA, Abe would have this guy come in. Like, he was a professional radio guy, and he would do the KMA show from the Great Smoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were off doing all other stuff, right? And this guy was so good. He was describing Abe zipping around the parking lot on a Segway. And the way he was describing it, damn, I wish I was there to go see this, because he made it look, and I went the following year, and I did get to see Abe on the Segway, and it was really cool. So that's something that got me to go down. This is before I worked on KMA, by the way. That got me to go down to Florida to go to the event just from hearing this guy talk that did that. So that's what I'm saying. If you could capture the vibe of the event, now that you're whoever would event, they're going to appreciate that, especially if you get people to go down there.
Right. No, I agree. And that's kind of what I was, getting to. It's like, don't tell me you go in and there's food and like, yeah, I get that. I know there's food there. Like,
I get that.
What's the fun stuff? Abe's
I'm
flying around
I'm still learning how to. Yeah, I'm still learning how to do this too. It's hard. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think you do a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, I gotten better. I mean, I still can't. This guy, I think his name was Jack. The guy who was doing, it wasn't Jack Heyer. The guy Jack was doing the broadcast that day. I mean, the way he was describing that Segway, I'm like, I almost felt like I was there. That's how good. And it wasn't even video. There wasn't even video of this. I'm hearing this on audio, by the way. So there was no video back on KMA then either.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think it was a great event for what it is. And when I say that, I go, when you compare it to the average, like Titans of Tobacco is a different kind of event. I wouldn't put that in like the same classification as like Barn Smoker, Great Smoke.
It wasn't a regular consumer event.
That's a little bit more of a polished event that's got a little bit more going on.
That was a fundraiser.
Yeah, but it's a little bit higher tier. It's not like you're out and about like getting free pizza.
But the objective of that event was
it's a different, right?
It had a total objective. Yeah.
But I mean, it has a different vibe to it too. I mean, it's a fundraiser. I know.
Good.
But it's you're not outside and the DJ and no, you're at a nicer, dressier event. It's a little bit it's a different kind of event. It's a different different theme, different vibe, different kind of. That's very different.
Yep.
So I'd put that more in like your classic cigar dinner event kind of things, where it's a little bit more. It's nighttime. It's formal-ish, you know. And that's a category of a cigar event on its own. So it should be better. You know, I mean, that serves a completely different purpose.
Yeah, I would say it's not. It's an apples. It's not apples and oranges. It's very,
right. That's the point I'm trying to make.
It's not apples to apples. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would hope that Titans of Tobacco would be different, you know, because it should be. But that doesn't mean that one's better than the other. They're very different. You know, just like the Big Smoke. You know, a lot of people like the Big Smoke. You know, they like to go and they do the seminar sessions, and then they get to go trick or treat and shake hands with people, and that's cool. Whatever. I haven't been to one, Coop. I don't think you've ever been to it, right?
Which one? Big Smoke?
Yeah,
I've been to the one. I went to the one in New York years ago.
Oh, so you have been to one? Okay.
I mean, I went before I was even in media. Is when I went. Once I went in the media, I didn't feel comfortable going. So, but I have gone to the one in New York, which was a single day one. It's okay. Back then, I thought it was great. Back then, I thought it was great, but now I don't think it would do much for me.
I don't think there's any other media that go to that, right?
Not really. I mean, because again, it's kind of
no major media, I should say.
Half
of it doesn't go to that.
No, I don't even see cigar snob or press go to that. I mean, that's a competitive thing.
Yeah. So that one's kind of like on an island of its own.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. I think the event does a good job for what it does.
They make money, you know.
They get, it's. Have I think the only thing I haven't been there, so it's unfair. But I've heard the event's gotten a little dated, is what everyone keeps telling me. Like it goes back to Pat's point. That event is the same event every year.
There's nothing new,
refreshing. The only difference is they changed the cigars and the speakers. That's it.
Yeah.
It's nothing. They haven't really. They tried adding the whiskey component, I think, to the Florida one or something like that. But yeah, that I've heard is the same event every year, and it's kind of gotten dated, is what I've heard.
I thought that was a different event. The Whiskey Fest one, Big Smoke meets Whiskey Fest.
That's the Florida. Yeah, that's the Florida Big Smoke they've done.
I thought it was
Florida
a completely
Big Smoke
different
used to be the
thing.
New York one, actually. They used to do the New York one in that time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, because you can't do cigar events in New York anymore.
Yeah, they used to do it in the area, but on the west side by the pier, and then it kind of just got to be. And then they did it in December one year. It was really cold. It wasn't a great move.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
that sucks. What are you gonna do?
Yep.
But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of our take on the Barn Smoker, which, like I said, I mean, we enjoyed it for what it was, and the cigars and the swag definitely add a majority to the value, but that is the MO at Drew Estate, so I don't see them taking that away. So yeah, I think it's a good value for what it is. I think you get more than your money's worth out of it. That's just me. So I would check it out. Although, make sure you're on it because, like Coop said earlier, it sells out fast. So, I know this year I saw people bitching and complaining. Not that I think that they didn't have a reason to. I don't really know the circumstances because I didn't really have to be in that because, let's just say it, we already had our tickets put aside. So, I mean, it wasn't a concern. But for the regular people, yeah, I know that people were posting a lot. I don't know what happened this year, but I know people were really upset when tickets went on sale. They went out quick. People got locked out. The page wouldn't load. There was a lot of issues with the buying of the tickets. I know that was a huge thing.
That's a hard thing, and if they're dependent on Eventbrite, I'm sure with that. So it's hard with them. It's not. I wouldn't blame Drew Estate on that. They'll fix that.
So yeah, I think that was a good event.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. Coop, what else do we have on our docket this week? There was a couple of things we were going to talk about, but they got removed from the list. There was another thing I mentioned to you. I I'll touch on this. We didn't really get a chance to kind of discuss it first, but I'll bring it. And Pat, you might know some of the stuff about this too. So I mean, obviously, you jump right in. I saw some stuff online today, and I know that Josh and Glenn from PCA they posted a video on social media. They were talking about this proposal by the FDA that would, they want to try to, regulate, tobacco manufacturing facilities, especially, including ones outside of the United States, which is kind of an interesting topic. And some of the discussion there, and there was some people that I saw commenting on it that were acting like, oh, this is a new thing, but whatever. This is something we heard about a few years ago. This is not anything new. We haven't really researched, and Pat, unless you have. I don't know. Sometimes you kind of already up on certain things that happen in this realm, but there's a discussion going around with the FDA wants to, try to regulate, tobacco facility, including cigar factories, and that are outside the United States. And there's a lot of questions around that, like, well, how would they do that if it's not in the U.S.? How can you go down to like the Dominican Republic or Nicaragua and be like, this is what you got to do?
Yeah, I could have read up on this before, but I did something on this like years ago when I was doing a podcast at Twins. So I have a write up of this somewhere. It's basically, I guess to put it in like layman's terms, it's setting like, I don't want to say like minimum. Trying to think of how to summarize it. It's factories would have to have certain facilities up to a certain standard. Like for instance, I think one of the big things was like they'd have to have like an HVAC, which is a lot of facilities that they don't have an HVAC. They couldn't afford putting an HVAC in, but it's just standards like that. And the way they implement that, I mean, there's plenty of ways they could. I mean, it's whether or not there's going to be a punishment on imports, whether it's going to be barred from being imported. But I haven't read up on it to refresh recently to really go super deep into it.
Yeah, I don't know what the change was because I thought that this was put on hold.
Yeah.
When the Trump administration came in.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any movement in this. I haven't seen it go off on my radar.
Well, I saw some people making comments that were like, "Oh, well, this is all from the Trump administration." I'm like, "This is not new. This is we've heard about this a couple years ago."
This happened in 2023. They put the requirements out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they refiled this or something, but yeah. And for folks who don't know it, this is basically establishing regulations that the FDA can go into the factories in other countries. Which, oh, by the way, yeah, they can do that. They have the legal right to do that if they're shipping stuff to the U.S. So
just because they ship something into the United States, if the factory is located on another sovereignty soil, they have the right to go into that country, into that factory.
And they have the right to basically say, and if they don't, they have the right to refuse it.
Okay.
So,
just for clarification, on how the process works.
Yeah, I'm a little familiar with this in the pharmaceutical space more than I'm not as familiar with this in the tobacco space. But this is where they were talking about having traceability. Some of these regulations would have traceability, and it's very complicated stuff. So, but I don't know what changed. Like, I saw something about this like earlier this summer that the PCA put a statement out. But I really couldn't make heads or tails what changed.
If I remember correctly, it was like something that I don't even think would be possible or even feasible to do, because I think the FDA would have to track like each component of the product, and they literally track it. Like somehow, I forget how it said they would try to do it, but like they would have like the weight, the percentage of material, and they would be like each crop would be tracked, like the amount of tobacco from the crop that's in the cigar or the size of the cigar. Like, I guess think of like everything being tagged almost, like it being tracked. And I don't think that's possible. Like you buy a box and you know, like, oh, this box has this leaf of tobacco from this crop that this guy Jose touched. Like it would be that in depth, and it's not practical.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is right now. So this is kind of like a proposed idea of plan of what they want to do, but this is not in. And I know Jay made a comment. FDA already oversees U.S. factories. This is a big deal. So anything within the United States they do, but now it's they're looking into outside of the United States. Is what I take from this.
Yeah, which they do that. It's the idea is not unique.
What they did is they moved it to something called long-term action. Like these were proposed in 2023. When Trump came in, they moved it to long-term action, which basically kicked the can is what happens. I don't know if it's now. Maybe it's that now they're starting to resurface this again. It wasn't clear why all of a sudden this came back up again.
I mean, I could probably just take a stab at why it came up, and it could be the fucking lettuce.
It could be the
yeah. Agricultural stuff overseas might be being looked at. And tobacco would fall into that category. So potentially that's why maybe.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, just because of the agricultural aspect of like, well, now we're trying to figure out where this came from. Well, if we had this in place, I think that's a very good guess.
Yeah, because what they did this with the nicotine limits as well when the Trump administration came in.
I remember the nicotine. They wanted to try to limit the amount of nicotine levels in tobacco products.
Yep, and then they withdrew the flavored tobacco regulations. Those were withdrawn, actually.
Right.
But remember the nicotine limits was kind of a little crazy because Biden tried to get it in right before he left office. He put some deeper rules in, and then the Trump administration just kicked it to long-term status at that point.
Yeah, which was ridiculous in there was a lot of discussion on that. It's like, so how does that work? I mean, at least with our industry. I remember a lot of people had questions like, so what are we supposed to do about that? And again, I think this is where like the vape and the other products come into play because I mean you have artificial and you have the nicotine that's in the solution that's in the device, and it's like, well, you can control that. I mean, it's not so cut and dry with organic raw cigar tobacco and you age it, put it in the factory and roll it. It's like, well, it's a little different than how much are you putting inside the liquid inside a vape. That's different.
Well, a lot of this was like sanitary stuff too, and like facility upgrades, stuff like that. I mean, kind of like when you finish a house, you have the inspector come in, right? Like you're doing your electrical work. It's literally the same idea. The FDA goes in, they inspect. That's why like HVAC was one of the big things I recall from when I briefed this before, because like HVAC was required in like I think every building, which obviously, as you know, is not practical for a lot of the factories and frankly not needed in all the buildings. So HVAC was one of the things I remember. But that's general. Like, I mean, think of a guy with a clipboard checking off boxes on different standards you're meeting in your facilities.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like I said, I saw it popping up today, and I know I didn't give you guys more time on this, but I wanted to try to mention something because I saw it and I was kind of like, yeah, why is this coming up again? And then I saw some comments around it that didn't really make sense. Like people thought that, oh, this was like a brand new thing. No, this is not brand new. This is by any means. This is we've heard about this. This is not new. It's not that it doesn't make it not a big deal, but it's not like it's brand new. Like this didn't just pop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
This has been around. This has been around, this idea.
Yeah. I know.
And that's what I really wanted to point out is it's not a new thing. It's been around. But yeah, that's just another thing that the FDA tries to do to get involved. Jay's putting some stuff. I'm not going to share it.
There is a new FDA commissioner that's been nominated. I don't know much about her though.
Oh, I did hear that as well. Yeah, and I don't know what her MO is and all that, but I did read that there is a new FDA commissioner.
By the way, that was a retailer who gave me that news too. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Jay Davis put me onto that story. Yeah.
Oh, Jay Davis gave you that information? Oh, that's nice.
Yep. So, Well, we were just talking, and he said, "Oh, by the way, there's a new FDA commissioner like nominated tonight." And I'm like, "Really? Okay."
The
So
retailers
just
give us
kinda
more
wanna-
information than anybody.
Yeah, that's another topic.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not gonna get into that. Just saying, Just saying.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, no. I just wanted to bring that up briefly. Now, Coop, I know that you, Nicole couldn't make it. Pat was on with me, but
I was sick.
yeah, I know.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna do Wednesday. Nicole was able to kind of make it down here for today.
I pulled myself together.
But Coop, I know you saw the show. I know you
Yeah,
saw the show.
it
from
took me a
Wednesday.
little while to watch the whole thing. Yeah, man, it was almost like a Coop show.
I know. It was almost like a cigar Coop show. That was like a real length podcast right there. That was,
Yeah.
I felt like we were doing, special edition. You know what I mean? Like we.
But I didn't feel the only reason why it took me long to go through it is I just had other things I wanted to get. It's one of those things you didn't want to keep on in the background.
You wanted to pay
didn't wanna
attention.
hear it. You want to pay attention to that, and I was like, I haven't, because I was messaging you and Pat. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of at this. It took me a while to get through it. And I got through it Friday morning is when I got through the last part of it, and it was really good. That was a really special show, and great project by Carlito. Carlito, I think it was good to see Carlito back on your show. So it was. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a good show.
Now
I
actually.
didn't know the story. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You go ahead. It might make more sense.
I didn't know the story of the Templo de Oro. That was the first time I heard him tell the story that was a cigar for the Asian market. I did not know that. I knew this was something they were tinkering with, right? Because you and I had talked about this, but for the most part, I didn't have that That was background that I didn't have, and he told that story.
I hadn't heard him tell the story, but I had a hunch because I have a box of them, and when you look at the box, did you get a box of them?
I
Did you get
got
singles?
a box. I bought a lot of singles to fill up a box. Is what happened.
But you have a box.
So I
but
got
you have a box.
I have an empty. I bought originally I bought 4 with a box, and then I got some over time. I bought some more from Jay and stuff like that. So I ended up filling up a box with it. Basically, if you look at the pictures on my site, I kind of cheated with 1 or 2, but yeah, for the most part.
So my point is if you have the box, especially if you have the outer box and you get the sleeve, the velvet sleeve, there's Chinese characters on there. It's red.
You're right.
It's red.
You're right.
Golden
Holy cow,
Temple.
Good catch, Matt. Good catch.
Golden Temple is a very Chinese kind of theme.
I was thinking Arabia with it for some reason, but he was talking about Arabia too.
And what's interesting, and I think even on the inside of the box there's some Chinese characters. And for me,
catch,
that
man.
did it was when we were at the 21 or the 22 show. It was when the Fuente booth was. We were in the Venetian trade show, Expo Center, and Fuente was towards the front by the front door, like next to Gurkha-ish. I don't know if you remember which year that was. And it was the first year they had the new style booth that they have now. And Liana was still around. And Liana was there because I was in the booth and I was talking to Liana and it wasn't Templo de Oro. And I almost think that maybe she got them mixed up.
I'm seeing all these characters now. Yeah.
I think she got them mixed up. And it was the first year they had the regular Forbidden X in the black and red boxes. Like the Beso de Amor, the Passion, like those. They had those like on the side. And she pointed to it and she was like, yeah, this is something that my dad wanted to do for like the Asian market, but then like some things changed. We ended up sending it out here. And I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't think much of it. And then it was like a year later, we went down to the factory. And we were in the offices where like Ciro's office is. And anyone who's been there who knows, you have Ciro's office, and then you go down a small hallway to almost like a sitting area, and then you go into Carlito's office. Well, in that small little hallway, they got stuff everywhere, and it's crazy and it's cool. But they have a bookshelf, and they have a bookshelf with a lot of empty boxes, and a lot of them are like prototypes and stuff that they're working on. You'll see stuff in there that you're like, I didn't know that exists, and it doesn't. It's prototypes. And they had on there a stack of the boxes. They had like the blue 20th box. You had the Dubai, the 2020. And wedged in between was another one that was just like them, which now I know what it is. But at the time, no one had seen it. No one knew what it was. You can only see the face of it. And it was like that black with the gold. And I was like, oh, what's that one? And I didn't ask them, but I was like, what's that one? I've never seen that one before. That's different. It must be something they're working on. Now that I've seen it, it was the Templo de Oro box that was wedged kind of in between. And I only saw the face of it. And at the time, I'm like, what is that? And then when he told the story, all of that information came back to me. And I said, oh, this makes sense. And then I said, I think Liana got that confused, and she was thinking it was this, because, like, this makes more sense now, and I think that's what it was.
I was thinking hieroglyphics with those characters, because I'm looking at it. They're on the inside of the box as well, and on the outside, and on the sleeve. And I guess I was thinking hieroglyphics the whole time, because I had this Egyptian, Templo de Oro, I'm thinking Egyptian temple for whatever reason, because of the gold. I wasn't thinking Asia. So now you say that, yeah.
So that was kind of all the pieces I put together, and so when it came out, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like an Asian-themed release, and it must have been for China, because that's, gold and red, you think of China. So
yeah, it makes all the sense. Yep, you're right.
Then when he told that story, it kind of confirmed, like, yeah, this is kind of what I had figured out. So it made sense. But yeah, I mean, it was nice to hear him tell that. A lot of times when some of that stuff comes out, as you know, I mean, they don't send out press releases. They don't really say, oh, hey, this is what we're doing. New stuff sometimes just comes out, and you're like, oh, what is this? Templo de Oro. This is the Golden Temple. And it's like, okay, there's going to be 4 sizes, and it's going out to select retailers, and bang, that's it. There's not always a lot of backstory that comes with some of their releases. So you don't know. I mean, to your point, you just don't know sometimes when this stuff comes out.
Yeah.
So it is nice to have him actually tell a story. So that was nice. And then we talked obviously about the Opus X Resilient, which is, the special project that they're doing for 9/11. And if anyone hasn't seen it, I actually have the promo video that Arturo Fuente made that they gave to me that I can play really quickly.
Matt?
Yeah.
Since you've been to the factory, they've added something. They added the Fuente Theater. So they have this they have this movie theater in there, and basically they have their whole Fuente video library. And I heard the sound the other night when you played it. I'm like, you can hear it's that stereophonic theater sound, and when you that would sound so 3-dimensional in that Fuente Theater. That's a great video. I mean, yeah, they put a lot into those, and it was fun sitting in that Fuente Theater, by the way, smoking and watching videos. It was cool to do that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I know that they've had some other ones that they've made and for other similar products, so I could see them just playing those on loop in there.
I mean, I could see that's a Tony Cattengill piece of work if I ever saw one too. I'm sure he had a lot to do with that.
Oh yeah, very very beautiful.
That came out good.
But no, that was a special project, and it was really great to have him on and talk about that. And also, by the way, I want to say this out there on the audio episode on the podcast waves, I was able to edit it a little bit better, so it kind of ends a little better. The show ended the way it did because I just thought maybe you cut it off a couple of seconds before. I didn't think it was that bad actually. No. We actually the system went down and everything went black.
Yeah.
And the laptop died even though I was on power, which was weird.
Carlito's laptop died. He wasn't on power.
No, but at least I didn't lose the broadcast. I mean, when mine goes down,
but
that's it. But Pat was over there, and I looked at him. He looked at me like, "Oh shit, what happened?" And I'm like, I got nothing. I give him the look back like, I got nothing. I don't know. And I was like, that's it. There's no coming back from that. So, people are gonna wonder, because people always message me, oh, what happened? What? You didn't miss anything. I mean, we were trying to wrap up. But But that's why, and I apologize about that. I know it's not like a polished ending,
You can't
but
control that.
I can't control it, and we were also already on there for 3.5 hours. So I mean, it kind of, there was a lot there. But yeah, it's out there. If anyone missed the episode, definitely go check it out. I mean, I think we didn't just talk about that. It was a lot of stuff we talked about. There was some other topics we got to do. I mean, the first half of the show we didn't even talk about that. We were into other things. So definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. And I know Jay was there, and a bunch of you guys were there.
Jay said he told me about the Temple de Oro. I didn't listen to him. Probably right.
Well, because we smoked it, and I had the box ready, and so it was nice to have that there too, and to talk about, because that was also still new this year, because that came out around the holidays last year, so it's still new this year. And there's some other stuff we could have talked about. I mean, they had their Summer of Love sampler that they came out with this year, for the Summer of Love thing that they were doing. I mean, we still really haven't talked about the new the Sangre Toro, the Don Carlos with the San Andres wrapper on it, which
I haven't reviewed that one yet. That's coming up.
Yeah, me too. I have them. I just haven't reviewed them yet. There's the Don Carlos with the 2 wrappers on it for the 90th.
I just reviewed that. That's a great cigar.
Yeah. Pat, did you smoke that one?
There's more to.
Yeah, I smoked it. I had the Sangre Toro. I had the 90. I think I've had everything other than the Resilience and the
Black Pink.
the Rare Earth, which hasn't shipped yet.
Oh, the Rare Earth.
Yeah,
that
Rare
hasn't
Earth
shipped.
hasn't shipped yet. The Rare Earth hasn't shipped yet.
Coop had the
So I
Black
smoked
Pink.
I've had the Black Pink on the. I've had the Black Pink. It's really good. And I will confess, I've had a Black Pink with a band on it. I was gifted it by someone very special who wanted me to smoke it with him, and I did. It was very generous, and I smoked the Black Panther size, which is the best size of that by far.
So you've smoked multiple
really
sizes.
Impressed with the Black Panther. I've smoked it
every
twice.
size so far.
I think it's really good. By the way, I'm waiting for. I can't wait to go to national release with that. And when I was at the factory, I saw Sangre de Toros and Black Pinks, a ton of them being boxed up. So they made a lot of them.
That's good.
But usually, they I don't know how long those were age even afterwards. It seemed to me the amount I saw of the Black Pinks, it was more than it would go to a TAA retailer. So that's why I'm saying I'm sure they're going to be coming soon.
Yeah, that's right. I think they went to TAA first. You're right. Cigar went out on me. Come on. What's going on here? Yeah, those were kind of the hot topics that I had for tonight. Coop, was there anything else you wanted to add to our discussion this evening?
No, I think that's it. I think that's what we had.
Yeah, we didn't have a long list of things, to be honest with you. We didn't have a long list of topics for Spare Notes, but we wanted to be here. We wanted to see you guys and hang out. So
Yep.
I always like Pat. Did you have anything you wanted to bring up?
I guess I could do like a 5-minute segment if that's just something that came up.
Sure.
Not entirely what I did, but because I don't think it's as applicable to the cigar industry, just because there's not like really big corporations that are retail based. But I mean, there is, but they're not like there's big retailers, but there's not like a big, stereotypical like corporate type entity. And I just found it kind of interesting, and I think it kind of goes to like D&Ms. And I was actually on the phone with Coop on Friday on my way back from work, and when we got off the phone, I went to a Macy's to buy cologne. And
I like where this is going. I like
Yeah,
this.
I'm
Pat's
like-
going to buy cologne.
Wait, what cologne did you
The-
buy?
the new Sauvage. It's called the extract. It's really good.
I didn't like
I
Sauvage.
love
I
it.
tried it. It wasn't for me.
Okay.
But okay.
Oh, fuck yourself here. All right, so good cologne. So I went there, and prior to going to the store, I went online to make sure they had it and everything. So I go on like Macy's website, and I saw like a promo. If you buy spend like $160, you get like a free gift set. And it's like all of these nice, like kind of like quarter-ounce bottles of the whole line. And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, that's pretty cool. You get like, probably like $50 worth of product if you count it all together. So, because it's not cheap stuff. So I went and I went up to the because at Macy's and stuff they have all the you have to talk to somebody. It's all commission based stuff. So I'm like, hey, I'm buying this stuff, and then she's getting ready to check me out, and I'm like, hey, so like the website says if I spend 160 to just this gift box, and she's like, what do you mean? So I showed it, and she got like immediately pissed off that they're doing that because like they're commission based down there, and she's like, I can't compete with that. So she got like really irritated, but I was like, oh, I'm still gonna buy it. Don't worry. Da, da, da. And I just kind of thought about that because it's not really as applicable to the cigar industry because, like I said, there's not like a big corporation like that. But I think it kind of goes to you can kind of look at like your smaller B&M retails, maybe doing online sales versus like the bigger retailers who have like all those free gimmies at the register when you check out if you do a certain amount of money. But I just thought it was interesting just in the sense of like, shopping in person is like decentralized. And, when it comes to people that actually work those jobs, difficult.
It's true, but that's why they want to make more sales online because they're cutting out the commission that they have to pay someone, right? So
Exactly.
that's the incentive for them is that they're making a buck either way that they look, the way that they look at it. Because you're also talking to two people who used to work at Macy's.
At the fragrance counter.
We both worked at the fragrance counter.
Many, many, many moons ago.
Yes, I think over a decade ago. But they've been doing it since back then. Like
I was like 18 when I did it.
People would
like...
bring, oh, look at this like flash sale you get online, and we couldn't compete. But we would just like hoard all of our samples to be like, okay, well, we'll give you something, and things like that. But yeah, I mean, that's the reality is they're making more money by selling it to you directly, so they're incentivizing it that way, which sucks for people. I don't know.
Now, you got me thinking about this. So in the cigar industry, like mom and pop shops, probably not so much, but the bigger stores, Two Guys, Smokin, Corona, Neptune, Famous, they're the big stores that have a sales staff, a lot more traffic. And Coop, you probably know the answer to this a little bit better. And Pat, with your time at Twins, I don't know if Kurt does it, but most of those people have some sort of commission that work in the store, right? I don't know about Abe's people or if you do
My
Jeff's
son,
people.
when he worked retail, didn't have it. My son didn't have it.
Where did he work? He worked at Corona, right?
No, he worked at a local store here.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
I think most places do. I think Two Guys. I didn't work at Two Guys, but from the grapevine. Two Guys does. I think they do bonuses. Like the stores have a certain number they have to hit, then they get a bonus. And then Twins does a sale commission, so it's X amount of money spent is a percentage of it. So I guess to your point, like if you work at Two Guys, and I'm not using. I'll use a different. Like you work at any other examples, because I don't want to use Dave as an example. If you buy online, I'm sure that doesn't count towards anyone that's in the store. So I get the same thing because a lot of those big companies have like a 5-pack or like a lighter cutter or something you get if you set, even if it's usually it's a lighter cutter or something like that. There's some incentive that sometimes there's like a contest, like if, you get entered to win something if it's an online sale. So yeah, that would go against the tobacconists in store because then again, even if you live right down the street from the store, I mean, why not just buy it online and then get the 5-pack or the whatever the promo freebie is.
But some people don't want to wait, right? So you can just go in and buy it and have it in your hand that day, whereas you have to buy the shipping.
And Alan makes a good point here because he said, I don't know any stores that do commission, but some have spiffs on certain brands paid by the manufacturer. And I know that's true because I know people around here, Pat probably knows this, that there are brands that do that. And Pat, you probably had one, but I know for a fact that there are some salespeople that have a J.C. Newman debit card that gets loaded with spiffs.
Yeah, I can say that Twins does not allow spiffs. We never did a
Okay.
single spiff.
So
I don't know. I can't speak for anyone else, but Kurt's
Right.
really
Yeah.
against spiffs.
So I know that was something that I know I've seen. So I know that manufacturers do that.
No, they are
Um,
common. People approach for spiffs all the time, but they're super common. Super, almost any store you go to, I guarantee there's a spiff. That's just how it is. Just Kurt, this old school, doesn't like doing spiffs. He'd rather do, instead of giving us a percentage, give us product and let's do an event, and then for the event we can focus on your product. He doesn't do like a passive spiff thing though.
Well, and spiffs, what they do is obviously then the tobacconist is trying to push certain brands. So, as a manager, I wouldn't, in my industry, have people do spiffs, to be honest with you. Maybe every once in a while just to like incentivize the team, but I want everyone to push product unbiasedly. So I don't know. So I'm sure different owners have different thought processes behind it as well.
yeah.
Yeah, if you
that's
have
fair.
a good tobacconist, like if you are doing spiffs, if you have a good tobacconist, like I wouldn't be obvious that you're doing it, but I've seen examples of shops I've gone into where it's very clear what the spiff is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, because I mean, a spiff is like someone comes in and they say like, oh, I want a Connecticut cigar that's light and mild. All right, guess what? I have a spiff on this thing. Sell them
Yeah.
that. But if someone comes in like, I really like Dominican stuff, and I like kind of a barber pole wrapper, and I like all these specifics. It's like, well, what about I'm using a random cigar. This isn't a spiff company that I've ever seen, but I'll get you a Fuente Double Chateau. Well, it's not a barber pole, so you're already kind of fucking the guy, So you have good and bad tobacconists and spiffs, but
And I've seen it. I've seen that. I've seen that. Like people, like to your point, like I've been in stores where like people come in asking for X, and I've seen people literally take the customer to the outside of what they're looking for, and usually higher premium, and be like, "What about this? You're gonna want this," and it's like, and sometimes they buy it because they're like, "Oh, that looks good," but it's like, that's not what he asked for. Not even close.
yeah, and like Kurt's really old school. I actually like that Kurt's old school and doesn't do spiffs, but if people do spiffs, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's an opportunity to have a company give your staff money. I mean, why would you not? Like, there's nothing wrong with
Oh, of
that.
course.
Yeah, it's free money.
Yeah.
In the
There's
Yeah, but
owner's
it's
eyes.
the right way.
It's pros and cons to both. You know what I mean? So I just think it needs to be monitored, though, so it's not as abundantly clear what people are doing.
Yeah, no, you can't
Yeah.
You can't put the spiff before the sale. The spiff's just
Yeah.
kind of like hey, if you have an option between a couple brands, prioritize this one. But then there's people that just target that one brand, and everyone's walking out with whatever cigar it is, and that's not the way to do it.
Right. No, I'm glad you brought it up. That's kind of a good one. It's not something that the consumer is usually generally aware of. So that's kind of it. And it's funny when you brought it up because I'm like, I don't know a lot about this, but I've been around for a while and I've spent a lot of time in stores, and I know of a lot of people who work for stores and big stores, little stores. So I've seen and heard things over the years, and so it's very like different from store to store, and between the staff or with companies. But I've seen it all, and here and there, different things in different places, and I know a lot of reps. Obviously, we all know a lot of reps, and we know how it goes. I mean, so it's interesting though, because in our industry, it is a little different, because I feel like it's like like you talk about Macy's. That's a big company. Nordstrom, JCPenney. Those are big corporate companies. A lot of them have similar policies because they're very close in their competitiveness and the way they operate. Whereas our industries, it's all mom and pop, so everyone kind of does whatever they want to do, and everybody has their own feelings about it. So it's not as like universal. I think it's the point I'm trying to get to is it's not as universal in our industry that it is in like other industries. So it is kind of interesting to see how that works, and for people to know when they walk into a store like what might be going on here. But yeah, it's some stores are commission, some stores don't. It really just depends. There's no matter what you do, when you walk into a cigar store, you should almost never feel like you're at a car dealership. Those are the worst people. Car salespeople are among the worst. in terms of consumer sales, that's when you know, like, they don't give a shit about me. They're just here for the check. They're gonna kiss my ass, try to fuck me. That's true. That's what car people do. We all know it. We've all been there. With the exception of our friends in Ohio. They were, I mean, they're not, you know, everybody sells cars, but they were the best so far. I'd still give them praise. They were good. That deal worked out for me. Yeah, I did really quickly. I didn't want to dive too deep into this, but I did see a question on, and I did see this pop up in the news this week. Did anybody read about the Marlboro Man lawsuit?
No.
Coop, did you hear about that?
Yeah, I didn't even.
I don't know anything. I'm just asking because I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Is there anything there?
I actually I got the PR from the Don Abram Harris people.
Yeah.
And I think I've kind of made my stance clear. We don't cover trademark disputes unless it's settled in court or there's a joint statement issued. So I didn't do anything with it, but apparently I guess Philip Morris countered.
They did.
Don Abram Harris sued Philip Morris. Now Philip Morris is countersuing. That's pretty much that's all.
We've been here before. You know, we've talked about some of these ones within our specific in the cigar industry. And I mean, a lot of times it's like you see the headline, oh, they're gonna sue, and then they countersue, and then the story really ends there, because after that, like, you don't really ever hear what happens. Most of the time, it gets settled or it goes away.
This Don Abram Harris one's kind of a little comical because he's representing himself in this.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's even worse.
Yeah. That had nothing to do why we didn't cover it. If they had lawyers, it just again. I'm not, a lot of times these, like Matt, you just said it. A lot of times these things get settled out of court and you don't even know it, and to spend time on it is.
It's not worth the time to track down what happens.
If this goes to court and there's a settlement, it will be covered. But the other time is the problem is also when you get a press release like that, it's also very one-sided. So you have to kind of go do the work on the other side, and honestly, I'm not a legal person, so.
Well, that was when the Gurkha Year of the Dragon thing happened. Yeah. It was like Gurkha put out a thing, and they were really great, but then you went to Davidoff, and they were like, we have no comment on it.
Yeah, and that was like what.
So what are you gonna do?
CAO and Fuente. It was the same thing. Like CAO put out a very one-sided press release, and Fuente chose not to comment on it, so we didn't cover it. Yeah.
And anyone who chooses not to comment on it, I don't blame them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, if they don't want to comment, that's what you can't hold it against them. It's like, look, Pat, you're a lawyer. If anybody in this room right now knows and understands it, it's Pat. I mean, Pat's a prosecutor. He's in the legal system. I mean, he knows. Like, if you choose not to comment on a legal matter, I mean, you can never really knock someone for that. I mean, they don't want to comment. They don't want to comment. Okay, fine, whatever. I mean,
shouldn't comment, in my opinion.
Even enforcing my point. Yeah. So. No, it's whatever. We'll see what happens with it. But no, I mean, that's really all I had for the show this week. So, like I said, I just wanted to check in with you guys and make sure you guys all kind of said what you wanted to say. But I think that's going to be our show this week. So, thank you all for being here. Thanks to Nicole for sticking it out. Yep. And, it was great to see you guys all again. And we'll catch you all next time. Wednesday night. This coming Wednesday night. Stay tuned. We have a new guest on our show. Pretty popular guy. He's getting talked about a lot. Smaller brand, smaller company, but he's been getting a lot of people have been talking about him. Daniel Lance from Domain Cigars is coming on the show.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great. That'll be a great show. Guys, what he's doing is what no other company his size is doing right now.
Yeah.
So I think you'll have a good show.
I'm very excited to talk to Daniel. And he watches the shows.
He watches the shows. He's very transparent, I find, on things too. His cigars are excellent on top of that.
Cigars are pretty good. I've smoked them.
Made the top 10 twice in a row on our list. So
I think two guys carries them too. So they're in our backyard, which is nice. Yep. And he's got some interesting. I've heard some things that he's doing in his factory. Some stuff with the molds, and he had a video the other day where he talked about his draw testing, and he's got some stuff. I'm excited to ask him about all that, and I'll remind him ahead of time. Maybe bring some of those props with you, because. I'm definitely going to bring it up. So that'll be a good show. Don't miss that one.
Yeah. I'll be going.
But anyway, guys, thanks for being here with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And as always, you can head to SmokinTabacco.com for more news, reviews, and updates from the cigar industry. Take care. Have a great Saturday night.
And retailers.
And retailers.